City season. That's the rallying cry from Pep Guardiola. Manchester United's massive U-turn on what their projected championship winning side is going to be and when it's going to be. Mission 21 in the bin. Harry Kane returns to break records, maybe. What's Kyle Walker up to over in Milan? We've got plenty to talk about. Mo Salah apparently about to save Liverpool's win from a point deduction against Southampton yesterday. What the hell is that all about? Oh no, there's a twist in the tale. All of the tabloids, all of the paper round brought to you here on Football Talks. Welcome along to the show, everybody. Hope you're doing fantastically well. If you have just joined us over from FUTV, make sure that you get your likes and comments in the comment section. Welcome along. Thank you for subscribing if you have just. This is my other channel where we go through all of the Premier League and European football headlines. We like to bring in other clubs into the conversation just to mix things up a little bit. And we're starting with Pep Guardiola. Again, did you see how Pep Guardiola was dressed yesterday? Like, honestly, straight away, the first word that comes into my head, and I said it to Kaz, I can't say it this early in the morning, but it begins with a T and it ends with a T. What was that outfit? Honestly, you deserve to lose the game for trying to dress like an 18-year-old, mate. Come on, Pep. What are you thinking? Converse do not suit you. Combats, no, not at your age. And what the hell was that blanket you had on as a top? Past that, City failed again. That is 9 defeats in the league this season for Manchester City. What is going on? They hardly laid a finger. Yes, they hit the post, but credit to Nottingham Forest, first of all, again, like cementing their position into the top 4 in the Premier League. The biggest story is Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. Obviously, they've only got the FA Cup this season to fight for, but the games are coming thick and fast. The games are becoming a lot harder for Pep Guardiola's team right now. They're trying to integrate new players in. I don't think the injuries have helped them in terms of the likes of Ake, Akanji being missing at the back. Obviously, Stones is always in and out of the side as well. Rico Lewis. There's talk about Bob and Oscar Bob coming back, who's been a long-term absentee. Haaland's been off form. Foden's been nowhere near it. Bernardo's getting over. De Bruyne can't play 90 minutes. There's a lot going on at Manchester City right now, and I feel like even losing the likes of Kyle Walker in January, that speed and that recovery at the back and what he brings to them are absolutely huge at Manchester City. And Pep talking after that game yesterday is actually saying, look, 10 cup finals is what he's called it. 10 cup finals. Manchester City need to play like they are in the FA Cup final already, week in, week out. And I just don't know right now. If Chelsea get their win today, they go ahead of Manchester City, and City drop out of the top 4 yet again. 9 defeats, like that alone. When I looked at the table yesterday, I thought Manchester United have got 12 defeats. City have got 9. How the hell are we only 3 defeats behind Manchester City in our worst ever Premier League season? That goes to show how bad it actually has been for Man City this season as well. And I just looked at that. I watched that game yesterday. I watched it in between Ireland and France in the rugby union, actually. Miles better entertainment in the rugby, by the way. But Forest had City's number. Nuno Espirito Santo had Pep's number from the start of that game. They played their game. What a centre-back and defensive pact. Actually, the full-backs as well. I go on about Milinkovic and obviously Aurelio at the back for Nottingham Forest. But wow. Their team, their energy and what they bring, and Hudson-Odoi, Alanga, Gibbs White, Wood, obviously Awoniyi coming on as well, adding that little bit of extra. And I've talked about Forest depth before, and they are actually moving places, Forest. They really are. They're rewriting the history books of their football club this season. Credit to them. But where does City go from here? They've spent the money. They've got still a very, very good squad of players, but they've lost that aura. They've lost that City will get the job done feeling. They're always going to get the job done. They're always going to find that goal. They're always going to score and win the game late on, or even scrape a draw. They've lost that aura about them, haven't they? And you could see it. I mean, you don't know if you all seen the close-ups of the Manchester City fans yesterday. Obviously, every fan, when their team are losing a game, they look a little bit dejected. They look a little bit downbeat. But City have always had that confidence recently in. They've always had that confidence recently in and around anything that they're doing, the title runs, the games, the confidence in Pep, the confidence in the team, and what's been going on. And they've been arrogantly walking around you could probably say they're quite rightly arrogantly, because they've been winning absolutely everything. But now that feeling of indestructibility, that invincibility that City used to have, I think it's completely gone. In one season, bang, like that. Key players will be moved on. Like Walker already going. De Bruyne is going to be going as well eventually. They're looking at maybe doing a 1-year extension for him. Yeah, if you've got younger players coming through, I've said this before, maybe him being around isn't a bad thing if he takes a pay cut for City. But there's finances aside for City now, they manage that. The football is not as good. It really isn't. Haaland is just not doing anything. Mamouche has come in, a very good signing, and he could be that player that gives them something different. But while Haaland is there, he's always going to play ahead of him. And then you've got Foden, and like Mamouche is their number 9. He is a striker. He is a striker, and I'm going to be honest, right now, I just don't know how Manchester City make it work with the players that they've got. I don't. Like, they're still going to be, I think they'll make Champions League, I do. But to be so far away from Liverpool kind of shows you the fall. Is it Pep Guardiola? There's stories in the papers today as well about Pep Guardiola flying off to Spain to try and save his marriage. He's not giving up on his marriage. Maybe the downfall of Pep Guardiola has been the downfall of Manchester City. Maybe something behind the scenes has been going on at Manchester City with everything in Pep's personal life, and you don't wish it upon anybody. And I hope he does fix it and comes back, because as much as as a United fan, I'm enjoying City's deterioration. Obviously, you still want to be able to beat Pep Guardiola at his best. And if there's something happen behind the scenes with Pep, and it's not going to be the full 100% Pep Guardiola that you're beating, it kind of takes the edge off it a little bit, doesn't it? It takes that sort of winning feeling away. Like, well done, you've beat him, but there is reasons why Pep Guardiola has lost it a little bit this season. We've seen the moments, we've talked about it, the scratching of the head, what he's doing to himself. He looks like an absolute coiled spring right now, and he's just going to explode. There was a massive altercation with Pep and the fourth official on the sidelines yesterday. It took him ages just to calm down. I think he has got serious issues right now. It sounds really damning and hard on me saying that, like he's got problems, he's got issues, but it does look like he has. There's a lot going on in his personal life. City are not the same team. I don't think he can get the same results. He has to be at 100% Pep to integrate this new set of players coming in, Guardiola, and I don't know if it's fully there. I don't know if he's in the right place to do it, because you look at everyone that they've signed in January, and it's pretty much what you would expect them to do in a summer transfer window. These are supposedly all quality players that are going to come in and change Manchester City and be the future of the football club. Like, good players, but are they as good as what they had before? Mamouche, I would say definitely, and then you've got the likes of Kuzmanov. You've got is it Race at the back? I can't remember if I've said his name right there. You've got obviously Gonzalez in the middle as well. I don't really rate him. I don't see how he fits into Manchester City's side apart from being a squad player when Rodri comes back. He has said that there's a chance that Rodri could come back this season, and that might actually be what he needs. And that might be the spur just to get them that top 4 place, or maybe even win the FA Cup. I don't know, but they have fallen, and I don't know if he's got it in him to actually bring them back, because you've got to go again in the summer, and then I just don't feel like he has got that same drive behind him. And I'm not surprised I'm seeing stories in the papers today about him flying back to Spain to try and sort his personal life out. It must be virtually impossible to deal with the pressure of managing at that elite level and having issues off the scene in your personal life as well. That must be an absolute nightmare situation to deal with, and I think he's right in what he's doing. Get your personal life back on track, and then maybe we'll see the better of Manchester City again. I don't know, but I think that has to be affecting things, because City just don't look the same. The intensity has gone. It has left them completely, and for them to have lost 9 games this season now is unheard of. It is. It's unthinkable. And some of the defeats, like being smashed by Arsenal, being smashed by PSG recently, then Liverpool at home as well, losing to Nottingham Forest at weekend yesterday. It doesn't feel the same. is all I'm saying. And I think it is down to Pep Guardiola. I do. And this 10 cup final cry, rallying cry, it's all right saying it. It's putting it in practice. And being out of Europe, do these players have the same drive to go into the rest of the season? Like, for the first time ever, in a lot of these Manchester City players' careers, they're going into the end of the season with nothing to play for. And yeah, you could look to the FA Cup, but they can't win the league. They've lost their title. They're out of the Champions League, early stages. Earliest they've been, I think, in a decade, I think it is, for Manchester City as well. That's gone. So where is the drive for these players? Is it Pep? Well, you look at Pep then to start rallying the players up, and you see all the problems that he's got. You don't have confidence in his situation and that being turned around. And I think that's the problem that that's the problem he's got personally. And I think that's the problem that they're going to face in trying to convince a lot of these players that Pep is still the Pep and the mighty Pep that he was before. But moving on, I want to get into the comment section on that quickly. Must be something to do with young men today, as don't ever recall top players lacking so much confidence as seems to be happening these days. Lonan says, that was from Jeffrey. Lonan says, get them to the courtroom, Adam. That's where they go. Maybe there's a realisation that something's around the corner on that. Forest ended up 59 points behind Manchester City last season and are now 4 points ahead of them with 10 games to go. That's a massive swing. Good point, Brett. Great comment there. Good start, because that tells you everything you need to know about where City have gone and where Forest have gone. That is a chunk, innit? That's massive. Good points. Red Rebellion LFC says Pep sets up his team to serve Haaland, and now it has all come down like a house of cards. Pep is done and City have returned to the mud where they belong. Liverpool fans going right in on that one there. Get your comments coming in, everybody. Talk to me. If you are a City fan, if you are a Liverpool fan, Manchester United fan, get your comments in on this. I'd like to see it from all sides. Where is City fans with this? Get your comments in below. Do you feel like Pep is the problem at City right now? And look, don't get me wrong, like, City is still a great side. City have still got great players at that team. Are they losing their touch though? And in the Premier League, the toughest league in the world, if you come off it just a tad, you are taken. And the fact that they could be in fifth again with 10 games to go this season. League Cup gone, Champions League gone, title gone. Like, who'd have thought that City would be where they were at the start of this season right now with 10 games to go, 28 games into a season, literally less than, we're pretty much up to like the quarter of a season to go, and City are out of the title race, out of the Champions League. I've only got the FA Cup to go for, and are fighting for top four. Wow. My elbows just clicked out of place. God. Morning, Tom Porter. Appreciate this channel is not FUTV, but don't suppose that you would know why I've been blocked. All right, I'm not sure, mate. I will double check on that one for you, my friend. Red Rebellion says there is also that 115 outcome due in the coming weeks. That is true, mate. That is true. Lonan, there's a lot of teams that have been a bit Spursy this season. Quite a bit, actually. Good morning, Babs, as well. Hope you're doing well. He's still in bed, Adam. Who are we talking about there? Sorry, I missed that one. Anyway, I wanted to move on to other stories as well. And I want to talk about the story around Manchester United. And I think it's the Daily Mirror this morning that have gone into it. Manchester United make huge U-turn on their champion winning season in 2028. That being Mission 21. Mission 21 has been binned, apparently. And now there is a full-on vote of confidence behind Ruben Amorim due to the current situation at the football club. That is quite clear. They're going to have to back him because they've realised that they've left him in the shit. That's what it is. That's all it is. And to be honest, right now, when you look at Manchester United where they are, I don't think it even needs a newspaper to tell you that Manchester United right now need to trust in Ruben Amorim for a little bit longer and actually give him the tools what's necessary. But don't take the expectations away of trying to win the league in 2028. I think even Ruben Amorim has been talking about the expectations and where he sees himself as Manchester United head coach or manager in the future? Does he feel like he has got the tools to actually get United that success that they want? They're building something, he says, and he doesn't even know if he'll be here in the future to see Manchester United lift that trophy. We don't know, and we're never going to know. Looking into a crystal ball, obviously, aside, but Manchester United right now, in realising that the PSR crisis is here, they're looking to sell at least 6 first-team players to raise funds for Ruben Amorim in the summer. That is necessary. That all leads into the talk about the Garnachos, the Kobbie Mainos. Apparently, Garnacho is leaving Manchester United no matter what in the summer. There's stories about that flying around. Kobbie Maino's contract situation. If both of them go, they are massive amounts of profit for Manchester United and could fund that rebuild that Ruben Amorim needs. But United now talking about being in the Europa League for the next 4 seasons, and that's their financial projections over winning the Premier League in 2028, shows you what has happened at Manchester United and the reality of the situation that even the ownership model at the football club now is getting to terms with. Sorry, coughing fit. Mouth's not working. But I think, like we said, like we've done it plenty of times on FUTV, we've talked plenty about how Manchester United's situation is going to completely derail any hopes of Ruben Amorim and what he wants and how he wants to play. Can he afford to get the right players in? No. Is it going to be second choice players? Probably. And will that make the job difficult and take longer to get to where they want to go? Yeah, of course it will. Of course it will. Manchester United right now are a million miles behind everybody. And just laughing and joking on FUTV for a moment then. I don't want to talk too much about Manchester United on Football Talks. I like to make it general about everything in the Premier League. But Crystal Palace actually having a bargaining tools and saying that they are a better team than Manchester United right now when dealing with Jean-Philippe Mateta and trying to offer him a new contract to stop Manchester United taking him on the cheap because he's only got 1 year left to run at the end of this season, tells you exactly how far United have fallen. We just talked about City. City's fall, it falls into complete insignificance when you compare it to Manchester United. It really does. And that, I feel, is a sign of how tough the Premier League is, how good the league is in terms of the quality of teams now everywhere in this league, apart from the bottom 3. I feel like that now is why you're not going to get that absolute dominance. You're not going to get dominance from certain teams. Are obviously, like, you'll have Liverpool this season, like, wow. But they've got aging players. They have to do what Manchester City are doing right now and deal with that. So when you lose Salah, which will come, when you lose Van Dijk, and we know they're losing Trent Alexander-Arnold, when you're losing these players, they are hard players to replace. They are the best of the best right now. You look at Van Dijk, you look at Mo Salah, you are not going to get a better centre-back or forward in the Premier League right now, I don't think. Obviously, you can argue the point in terms of other strikers this season, comparing him to Mo Salah, but let's be honest, Liverpool right now, they're just on they're a machine going forward. No one can compare with Mo Salah. I'm just going to say it. I called it this season. I thought this would be the Mo Salah fall-off season. And I held my hands up and I took my L gladly. Well, not gladly. Wrong word totally there. But unwillingly, had to say I was completely wrong. I thought with Slot coming in, I just did not expect Slot to have the Slot effects that he's had. And I said this the other day on a vlog. I watched that PSG game against Liverpool, and Liverpool's mentality was one thing that nobody was talking about, and that was what Slot has done and installed in his team. As long as you're in it, keep believing, and they took the chance. Yesterday against Southampton, Liverpool's pretty poor. And you know what? When you look at everything, that's actually happening at Liverpool this season. You look at that game yesterday, and that was a pretty average performance from Liverpool. There was a moment in it, and there's a story in the papers today that a fan thought he saw Mo Salah running over to the sideline to stop Liverpool making a 6th substitute in fear that there was going to be a point deduction for Liverpool yesterday. In fact, the rule reads, I think it was Jan Bednarek who went off with a head injury and went through concussion protocol. So instead of it being a 6 substitute and Liverpool obviously taking a point deduction for breaking the rules, the concussion protocol substitutions allow both teams to make an extra substitute. So the fans were panicking. There's a story in the paper. I just thought I'd bring it up because it was amusing. You could be sat there in the stands like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? And if you didn't know the rules, you'd be like, oh my God, this is all going to go wrong. But Mo Salah himself was actually thinking it, apparently, according to this fan. And some footage of him caught actually running over. I don't know if Liverpool fans in the chat were actually there yesterday or if this is real, but it caught my eye this morning in the papers. And it was one like, everything that's good right now could just be undone by one stupid decision. What's going on? But it was all within the rules because of the concussion substitutions for Southampton. Obviously, the opposition are allowed to do it at the same time as well. And we are okay. Liverpool could actually do what they did, and the substitution was legal because of the concussion protocol. But it was like, you can imagine like the panic. It's like, I've just scored 2 goals here. We're going how many points clear in the league, and we're about to throw it all away. Credit to Mo Salah for even thinking about it in the middle of a game, and that goes to show you the intelligence levels of the man. It's crazy to think that a player is actually that aware and switched on. But wow, yeah, that is something that I think every team needs. I think that is something that everyone would want in their team, someone like that. And yeah, I will I will be aware of that in the future as well. I wish United had players like that. God, man, we're a million miles away. United could have had a big professional player in Harry Kane at the football club, but we missed that boat as well. But there are stories floating around that Harry Kane could be coming back to the Premier League on a mission to beat that Premier League goal scoring record. Now here's a question to any football fan in the chats, whether it be United, Liverpool, City, anybody. Is there anyone out there that would take Harry Kane back at their club right now at the age that he is? Is there anyone that would go as far to bring Harry Kane back in to their team? That, I think, is something... I don't know. I feel like he could still do a job in the Premier League. I think he'll still score 20, 30 goals in a season. I really do. I feel like he is... I think he is that type of player. That he's just that good a striker. And the story reads, and it comes out the Sun today, all English eyes were on Harry Kane this week as he bagged a brace in Bayern Munich's Champions League grudge match against Borussia Dortmund, rivals by Leverkusen. Xabi Alonso's side were the latest ones to make Kane wait for that elusive first major title of his first in his career, when they ended Munich's decade of dominance and supremacy last term. Kane's double on Wednesday night inspired Bayern Munich to a 3-0 win in the Champions League last 16, putting them in a good stead for advancing past their German counterparts into the Europe's elite competition. But irrespective of what in next week's second leg, there seems nothing that can prevent that German title medal going round his neck within the next few weeks. Harry Kane is going to finally get his medals, is what is going on. And that, I think is what he wanted. I think he needs to get them medals. I think he deserves his medals. It means Kane is on course to lay the bogey to rest and think about the other main club goal of his career. That would be for him to overhaul Alan Shearer's Premier League record tally of 260 goals and potentially set a mark that might never be broken. Kane scored 213 goals in 230 top-flight games for Spurs before his 100 million move to Bavaria in 2023, meaning he just needs 47 to beat Alan Shearer's tally, set in 441 appearances for Blackburn and Newcastle. Despite the stats of Bayern with 57 goals in 58 games in Bundesliga appearances, which is phenomenal on its own. 73 in 78 matches in all competitions. Kane is not universally popular, being questioned over his contribution outside of the 18-yard box in big games. Can you believe it? With that record, God, I wish I had. I wish I had complaints like that to make up my team. My God, it is. It's crazy, isn't it? How you can actually have anything to moan about regarding Harry Kane. The record that he had in the Premier League, the record that he had at Spurs, and now what he's doing at Bayern Munich. How can you even question Harry Kane at all? I don't know. Honestly, it just seems like a stupid story for people to even be looking at Harry Kane in that way. But I don't know. It's I would take him at Manchester United. I would for a couple of seasons, but we're never going to be able to afford it. I would love a player that professional at Manchester United. Would you take him at your football club? Let's get into the comment section. Can he still do a job, basically, in the Premier League is what I'm asking right now. Harry Kane from 4 years ago. Yes, I'm not sure now, says Tom. He's no Ronaldo. Good morning, Adam and Football Talks Legends. Hello, Stephanie. Hope you're doing well. Tom Porter says, sorry, talking to Kaz on that one there. Salah is 33 in June. Van Dijk 34 in July. We can't hold on to them forever. Whether they leave at the end of the season or get another 2 years, we will need to bring in 2 other players to step in. Get them titles in the bag and then start worrying about the recruitment side of things. It's a good position to be in, Red Rebellion. I envy that position. I really do. I really do. But thoughts as our recruitment is good. That's because our recruitment is good. Yeah, well, I think that's been proven with Liverpool, that the recruitment side of things is absolutely spectacular at that football club. It is. And to not have to go out and buy any players this summer at all and get stronger. Well, they brought in Chiesa, but it's completely irrelevant because he doesn't really play. But how to spend what Liverpool have spent this summer and win what they're going to win, because I think they'll beat Newcastle. They're going to win the Premier League. Obviously, they're not going to take the FA Cup, but there is a treble of sorts in the offing. Like Liverpool, will they be able to beat Real Madrid? I think that's what you've got to look at. Can Liverpool beat Real Madrid? That's the question, because that's the only team I see stopping Liverpool. Don't get me wrong, I'm not counting out PSG from that Champions League second leg at Anfield. They won't be deterred by the Anfield atmosphere. They are a good team. They bowl Liverpool over. They just can't score. And they do carry a threat. And Liverpool will know that they have to be on their toes when it comes to that game against PSG. They really will. So, yeah, when you look at it that way, I feel like... I don't know. I don't know which way that game is going to go. I really don't. But I think they could. I think Liverpool could take pretty much everything that they've got that they're playing for this season. They're 100% going to walk that game against Newcastle for me. I think they'll be too intense. And Newcastle missing out on, with no Gordon, with no Lewis at the back either. A big misses down that side for them. I don't see how they can compete with Liverpool. I think Liverpool will take that, and that then will spur them on into the rest of the season, I think, Liverpool. So, yeah, I just don't look at anyone really challenging Liverpool right now and expect them to take absolutely everything. So apparently the protest ain't a walkout, it's just a whining session. F all match-going fans, that they are enablers and love watching football. You're slagging me off there, mate, so literally let's just remove your stupid comment to make when you know that I'm actual season ticket holder, and if you want to blame us for everything that's going on, then you're not welcome in this room. Sorry, see you later. Harry Kane is a goal scorer. In my opinion, he reminds me of Dennis Law. Don't you think, Adam? Says Henry. Harry Kane he scores goals wherever he goes. I wasn't alive to see Dennis Law play. I can only go off the stories, but he is one of the best goal scorers. I think he's better than Haaland. I think he's a better footballer than Erling Haaland. I'll say that now. I think there's even Manchester City fans that would say he's better than Haaland. Like, obviously, Haaland's pace and what he is, he's a freak of nature, and he's an absolute machine. But I reckon if you put Harry Kane in City's side, he would do better than what Haaland's doing. Honestly, I do. I think he gets involved in the game. I think he does more. I think he'll offer Manchester City more. He would have offered Manchester City more. Don't get me wrong, like Haaland is just an absolute monster. And you're splitting hairs, but I do think if you're putting them both together, I think Kane is the better striker. Anyway, I want you to get all of your comments in on everything that we've talked about there. Manchester United's U-turn, Pep Guardiola, is he the issue why City won't challenge again? Does he need to get his own personal life in order before he can come back and attack this Premier League full throttle? The league has gone. He's challenging for top 4. That's it. Top 4 and obviously the FA Cup. That's all he's got. Well, for now, that is it, everybody, on Football Talks. Please give the video a like. Make sure that you have subscribed as well. That is up on your screen also. And I will see you all later on. I've got a busy day. I'll see you all later on FUTV in the warm-up show ahead of the game this afternoon. We have got quite a bit to do. I'm going to go and pick Kaz up from the airport, and then we'll get into all of the content and what is necessary. But for now, that is it, everyone. Thank you so much. I will see you all later on. Have a great day. And yeah, go to Old Trafford and make yourselves heard. That's all I'm saying.